Oh yeah, I forgot. I can wear a mic now.
Yay. Good morning. Thanks.
Do 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 ba 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 ba.
We're doing it.
I still don't see it on my.
Just got the notification.
We are Refuge Medical, right?
Yep.
Oh.
There you are.
Oh,
Sweet.
5x5. New mics.
5x5.
So
We gotta grab a good screenshot to put on the thumbnail for YouTube because
Do
that
it right now.
no, just do it after the fact.
Okay.
Because that increases. Here's a little tip for everybody out there making their own content. So you have what's called CTR, click-through rate, right? And on YouTube, that is dependent upon the thumbnail and the title. And so good title with good thumbnail increases your CTR, your click-through rate, which increases the number of views that you get. And it's not like it's not a vanity thing. I want to get 1 million views on my video. What it is if more people click through that are already subscribed, that tells the YouTube algorithm that everybody who's subscribed should actually see this because YouTube doesn't, even if you're subscribed, offer the content that you make to your subscribers, let alone everybody else. And so thumbnail and title are vitally important for YouTube.
So you guys need to give me a really good face or something at
That'll-
some point during here.
I love your optimism, but you thinking that this thing is going to somehow fall into the really good category is probably.
And I already have a good face.
Yeah, you're pulling all of my dead weight over here when it comes to faces.
That's why my back hurts.
Corey Wenzel said as he's telling his boss about his tourniquet he got from Refuge, a life pops up. And he said a life poops up.
I'm posting to Patreon now.
Listen from the other end.
We're going to do some Q&A today, so make sure to put your questions in the comments, and we will likely answer them. Q&A rules are real simple. Everybody's going to be cool to each other. You guys be cool to each other in the chat. We'll be cool to you. You'll be cool to us. If you violate that rule, you won't be able to hang out here anymore. Simple as that. The other question, or the other rule is real simple. Put your questions in all caps. That way we'll be able to see them in the chat. And if we see them and we want to answer them, we will. If we see them, we don't want to answer them, we won't. And if we can't see them, we can't answer them. Those are the two extremely basic rules of Q&A. So let's do it.
Super basic.
Wubby, what's up, brother? Love you. You're incredible. Beware I can hug your neck sooner or later.
Right?
Okay,
It
good.
almost sounded like you said beware, but not
Beware
Yeah.
I hug your neck.
Where?
Yes.
That's exactly what he said.
Team Francesco official. That's another brother whose neck should get hugged.
Yeah.
Listen, Francesco is an amazing human being. And one of the things that I love about Francesco is he's just out there living life completely blind, just running marathons, hanging out, playing board games with his homies, like day trips to the park with the dog. I don't know, coming to Refuge class and doing the best tourniquet application of the class in scenario.
True story.
Like literally walking around, I don't know what you call it, his bumpy cane thing, that thing, just kicking ass and taking names. And it's one of the things that I love about Francesco is not just the spirit that he has in him for overcoming, but he puts the lie to everybody else's bullshit excuses 100%. About why you can't or I can't. It's like, but Francesco? But Francesco.
But he can.
But he can, and he is.
Yep.
And so if the blind guy can have the best tourniquet application in the class, what's wrong with everybody else?
Suck it up, buttercup,
Right?
and do it.
And I love it. The first time we met Francesco when he came for training, I was at dinner that night with my kids, and they're like, how was class today? Which is a common topic of conversation in my house because we train a lot of people, right? And so they usually get the cliff notes, the wave tops,
Right.
the best and the worst of the class. Be like this guy, don't be like this guy kind of thing. And I was like, let me tell you about Francesco. This dude is amazing.
I mean, he
And-
even did a fantastic job wound packing.
Yeah, he killed
Like,
it. He just
everything
killed
by
it.
feel.
Just killed it, right? And you know why? Because he wanted to. Because he was
100%.
bought in. Because he is bought in. Because he's like, hey, I got this one life, and I'm going to live the shit out of this one life that I got. And the rest of us are all like, oh, window to hell, 40-hour work week. I hate it here. I think I have social anxiety. And Francesco's over here just whipping the shit out of life. And I love that about Francesco, because there's days where I need that too.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, awesome. Yep, I am sufficiently motivated to go out there and win today. So if you're not following Team Francesco Official, you should be, because you need a little burst of that energy as well. Yeah.
I'm sure you guys are really happy we have new mics now that he just punched his fish 3 times. Y'all need to cool it in the chat. Oh my goodness. Ask the cues.
Yeah, questions.
What's up, Ed? How you doing, brother?
Oh, is Iridium Group here?
Yeah, sure is.
There he is. Love that guy too. It's another guy who's out there just getting after it, just doing it. Just
100%.
beating life in the face. Love that.
Yeah, he's always like, oh, it's negative 27 outside. Let me just go out there and...
Right, you know, up here in Canada, you know, it's negative 93 Celsius. I just had to slay a polar bear to wear it like a coat. But I got a really great combo shot with my little 5-watt Baofeng. It's a beautiful day. I'm like, of course, Ed, naturally, as one would do. It's like, I ate a seal pup for breakfast. It's going to be wonderful. Cheers, mate. I'm like, all right. Yep. It was 38 degrees here this morning, and I had a coat on.
For real.
It's like,
100%.
oh, that's sauna weather, you know.
Well, I don't know if you guys remember, like, when the mooses lived down here.
The
When it
moose?
was-
Oh,
when
I
it was-
thought you meant the actual animal. I was like, you are high on some shit right now, Lauren. There's never been a moose here.
Ever.
But okay.
The moose.
No, but-
Yes, the
Matt
moose
would be-
people.
Matt would
the
be out in
meeson?
his, like, shorts and friggin' short sleeves, and he's
Yeah,
like,
and
what
it's-
is wrong with you?
It's literally like
He's like, this
22
is
degrees
shorts
outside,
weather.
and he's like, this is fantastic.
So I've been in the South now as a resident of the South for 18 years-ish, mostly, and 15 solid, right? Prior to that, growing up in upstate New York, it would literally snow as high as this table overnight, and it's like, meh, you know, plow truck, fix it, you know. I remember when, like, skid steers first got popular, because it was like, oh, I need one of those. Because before that, it was a backhoe, right? The Case backhoe or John Deere backhoes. Anyway, so it would snow this much overnight, and my guys were always like, we know where you are in the woods when we're cutting timber. I was like, oh, because you can hear the saw. And they're like, no, we follow the trail of clothing. I'm like, okay. So I'd be out there and it'd snow up to my belly button in some cases. And I've got my Carhartt dungarees on and a sleeveless T-shirt and a toboggan cap just sitting on the top of my head with steam coming. I've got pictures of this running a Steel 066 Magnum. And it's, I don't know, 8 degrees outside.
Right.
But you're getting, cutting timber, you're getting after it, right?
Absolutely.
And then the afternoon would come and be like, oh, sun starts to dip behind those mountains about 3:30 in the afternoon. And it's like, oh, it's getting a little chilly. So I'd start walking back out. I'd find my long sleeve Dickies shirt, like, oh, yes, perfect. Keep walking out. I'd find my flannel, like, yes. Keep walking out, find my big Carhartt coat. By the time I got back to the landing where the trucks were parked, I'm like, I'm all bundled back up again. But that is all the way gone. I'm now adapted to the extent that I can adapt to the heat, not the cold.
It's funny because it's like you can adapt to survive in the harsh weather, but then you also can adapt to be a wimp.
That's
With the cold.
That's a really good question. Local prepper project. I keep cues, I think it means TQs, in all my vehicles. Other than on your body, what are places to keep a Q or a TQ that most don't think about? So for me, this brings up the concept of ruck, truck, house, plane, and a layered approach. So we want to have medical equipment at the point of injury, since we don't know where the point of injury is gonna be. To your point, other than on your body, I got 2 tourniquets on me right now because I'm me. That's how I live my life. Because thus far, my life has taught me that, yeah, you should have medical gear on you. But in your vehicle as well, right? And then what about work or church or home or barn, right? Another layered approach. Like, I don't know, a lot of people around here in rural areas, we have barns or the shed or the shop or wherever it is, where the welder, plasma cutter, chainsaws, tractor, heavy equipment, auto lift for working on vehicles, wherever the mechanical stuff is. How about like right there, or neat, like on the wall, a real first aid kit. This thumb right here, I have almost cut off with a table saw, not once, not twice, 3 times.
On the same day.
On the same day. I'm not allowed to run a table saw on October the 9th. Okay? In any event. And the first time I did it, when I get injured, I get pissed. Like, that's my default mode. Like, pain turns into just fury. And so I've got my thumb inside my hand, wrapped up, you know, well-aimed direct pressure.
Yeah.
And I'm looking around the wood shop for the first aid kit. I call one of my guys. I'm like, yo, get the first aid kit. And he's like, what? I was like, get the fucking first aid kit. He's like, oh, okay. And he gets it. We pop it open. It was one of those plastic boxes that hangs on the wall. Pop it open. 3 Band-Aids, 1 2x2 gauze pad, 4 inches of tape. I'm like, well, all right.
Better off
This
with
is
a
what we
paper
got.
towel and some electrical tape
Yeah,
or a
100%.
zip tie.
And this is
Been there.
a 14,000 square foot wood shop. We got 2 CNCs.
Right.
We got all this stuff, right? And so at the point of injury, church, you know, when we teach church security, it's like everybody loves to ask the question, well, where should the security guys be? Can we have rifles in here? Hell, I'm not your pastor. Don't ask me that. Ask him that. And the answer is probably yeah, if you got a place you can put them. But where are your med kits? Where's your CCP, casualty collection point? Where are we going to triage? Where are we going to pull the ambos in here? So we're going to stack our casualties here. We're going to enable our greens to help our yellows and our reds. Our expectants are going to be separate. Our blacks are going to be separate from green, yellow, red. But right here, we should probably have like a comprehensive first aid kit, not just the ankle kit that I've got on, because that's for me, not necessarily for everybody else. So the definitive answer to your question is at the point of injury. And if you don't know where the point of injury is going to be, then that's why we carry stuff on us. But then it's that layered approach of ruck, truck, house, plane. The bigger the platform, whether that's a vehicle or a house, the more med capability should be in it.
Right.
On body, it can only, we're size and weight constraints. But house, yeah, stuff the cupboards full. Right?
Well, I have received a lot of emails from people from churches who are asking, like, hey, which kit, singular, which big kit should I get for my church? And something we've been reiterating is that, like, it is great to have a big kit, but the problem is that if you have one big kit and it's over here and something bad happens over here on the other side and you can't get to your big kit, you're screwed. What's the point of having it?
Yep.
So it's better for you to have maybe like 10 bleeding prevention kits, and you have them strategically placed throughout your church so that you know it doesn't matter what room I'm in, I'm going to be able to get to something.
100%.
Exactly.
Stomp bag at the CCP, and then get BPK's bleeding prevention kits. The intermediate is kind of the best buy. The basics are great value. The advanced is a great value. The intermediate's kind of the best bang for the buck.
Yeah.
BPK, bleeding prevention kit, intermediate. And get a couple of like Jansport backpacks or whatever. They don't look like anything. They're just a backpack. And throw 4 to 6 BPKs in each one of them. and one's behind the sound booth, and one's up on the stage over here next to the bass stack for where the worship band plays or whatever. And they're just backpacks. And nobody but leadership and security team knows what's in them because nobody else needs to know what's in them. But they're there. And the cool thing about that is when we think about mass casualty events, we should already have a team that has been appointed and trained and understands their areas of responsibility, who's going to do what when. If we have that Jansport backpack, I can throw that sucker on, and maybe, depending on what you got going on, I've got a spare AR mag or a couple of Glock mags or whatever in there. Radio, I know, it's a groundbreaking concept. Radio combo is a big deal. But you can chuck kits to people or a sling bag. Sling bags are great for this because you can wear it on the front of your body, rip it open, and chuck BPK intermediates at the problem. What do you got?
Oh, Patty just asked if we're working on any new kits.
Oh, Patricia?
Yeah.
Oh, there's an SOB 2.0 coming.
You just flat out said it? I didn't think you
I
just
own
go
the
right-
company. I'm allowed to.
You know what happens though? He tells us, he's like, don't you be teasing stuff. Don't
That's
you
right.
be doing that. And then he's the one that does it. And then we're like, but you said no.
I didn't say when it was coming. I don't hold your breath. How's that for an answer?
We did have a couple more questions in here. I'm scrolling.
You'll see it sometime next year.
Does sub-zero weather affect my beer fac or adventure kit? We got quite a bit below zero weather. It's negative 11 here today.
Bear fact, no. Depends on what's in the adventure kit, like, eye wash, different things like that. But other than that, no, the kits are going to be pretty well, what's the word, resistant to temperature swings.
So in a bear fact, the predominant thing to be concerned about would be the stickiness. That's a technical term. Stickiness of the chest seal. And the chest seals are from the manufacturer good. I believe it's negative 38 up to 140 Fahrenheit.
That's for the halo chest seals. If you have hyphen chest seals, the temperature swing is a bit more narrow, but it's off by like maybe 10, 15 degrees.
Can you imagine having, you need a chest seal and someone's like, let me get it out of my car. And you're in Texas in August, and they just slap that sucker on you, and then it just burns through your body.
We've done that. We have trained internally doing T-TRI-C, care under fire, and tactical field care.
It's not cool.
In that when it's 116 degrees in Oklahoma, and we have the honor of having a constant 75 to 80% humidity.
It's the worst.
It's the worst. Okay, everything rusts, everything's wet all the time. I try to explain this to people when I come here for training, especially wilderness, which, by the way, there's another wilderness class in the store. So don't be lame, come to wilderness, 1/5 of an associate's degree. Jeremy, by the way, is working on the other 4/5.
Yes.
I talked to him on the phone yesterday. He's becoming an RTP, Refuge Training Partner.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, man, I'm on this next phase now, and I'm working on my ECSI instructor development course. I was like, you're killing it. Great job.
That's awesome.
So anyway, it's always humid here, and it gets really hot in the summer. So we did this care under fire, tactical field care training phase, and we pull these chest seals out, and it was like you'd taken honey and slathered honey on the chest. It was, when you pull it, it was like, yeah. And it's like, do you think it's going to stick? It's like, it's never going to come off. It just...
Goodbye, hair.
And I don't know about y'all, but me, I'm called Bear for a reason, okay? When I'm laying in bed, the baby's laying on top of me when we're going to sleep. She goes, what this? What this? And she's grabbing handfuls of fur.
Oh.
I'm like, that's fur, honey.
Let go. Let go.
Yep. So they stick. They definitely stick when they're hot, and they still stick when they're cold. You are completely correct, though, about the fluids in the adventure kit. I don't know what the freeze point of povidone iodine is. Mental note to check that out later. But that and the saline solution eye wash are the things that I'd be concerned about inside of there. Now, an atmosphere inside of an atmosphere inside of an atmosphere helps insulate from those things. So if you have the bottle inside of a zip top baggie, which we ship them inside of a zip top baggie usually so that they don't explode in transit, because if they end up on a plane, it gets cold up at altitude.
Yep.
And pressure.
So you've got the bottle inside of a zip top baggie, inside of the adventure bag, inside of your vehicle or inside of your garage, right? And once you start stacking atmospheres around atmospheres, the rate at which stuff freezes is considerably slower. So that's something to think about as well.
Ian Sisk asked, "Good morning. I was hoping I could get a recommendation on what would make a great first-time read of the Holy Bible. Are the ones with maps and cross-references worthwhile?"
If you're into that stuff.
It can be.
So I love maps because I nerd out like that. In fact, I have stuffed into my Bible maps that I printed myself, and oftentimes when we're at church studying the Word together, I'll be like, hold on, I got a map for this. You've seen me do it on several occasions. I'll stand up and be like, okay, guys, do a quick map recon. I was like, see, what you don't understand is that Ammon was over here, and there's a mountain range here. And so when it's talking about the children of Ammon and Moab, like, here's where they were located versus the children of Israel over here. So they're traversing this mountain and blah, and some people are looking at me with their eyes glazing over because they're not into map recon. But a handful of people are like, yes, I get it now. So for me,
It makes so much more sense now.
I like to see it. So I think I'm up to 14 different translations now. The one that I carry with me every day, it's literally in my gym bag out in the truck, is the Scriptures, isr-messianic.org, or you can get one from grindstoneministries.com. If you don't have any money for a Bible, that's fine. Just contact us at grindstoneministries.com and we'll just send you one for free.
There's also the Bible app, which has that version on it.
Yep.
And you can cross-reference, which is what I do.
You pull it up in the Bible app as TS 2009.
Yep.
And you can select even the verse that you want to see and then do compare versions.
Yep.
Because there's some words where I'm like, I grew up hearing grace, not favor, right? So
Yep.
like my brain's like, this doesn't compute right. So I will go read it in the other version with it, you know. We had,
What's up, Striker?
Can let me add one more thing before you ask the next question.
Got this.
Burping. Words hard. There is no, in my estimation, there's no perfect translation. There are some that are better and some that are worse as far as, and by what standard. So for me, the better and worse spectrum is how close does the translation adhere to the original source texts, the Septuagint and the Masoretic texts, and understanding that there's both a time barrier there of a couple thousand years, and there's a language barrier there, and there's also a societal barrier there, cultural barrier. The Bible was written amongst an agricultural people, and so when we're like, now we're like, it's 2025, almost 2026, and Elon wants to put wires in our brain. And they were like, I think I should breed this sheep to this sheep. That'd be good for my family. Like two different problem sets, So there are, by my estimation, there are better and worse translations. And I think for me, the better translations are the ones that are as close to the original source text as possible. That's why I EDC the Scriptures. Yeah. That being said, that doesn't mean that it's perfect. Because humanity cannot attain perfection. Only one man, God made flesh, was ever perfect, and the rest of us are just trying to do the best we can with what we got where we're at. So I wouldn't be afraid to have a couple different versions, to Lauren's point, and cross-reference. Mm-hmm. For me, I'm a physical, visceral, tactile guy. I told you, I'm the guy who has printed out maps stuffed into his Bible. And there's been myriad occasions where I've been at my dining room table with half a dozen different translations open at the same time, because that's how my brain works. I want to see it in real time and be like, okay, KJV says this, the Complete Jewish Bible says this, the Interlinear Concordance says this, the Scriptures says this. Like, I wonder what the Y'all Bible says. Okay,
Right.
the Y'all Bible says
that is a whole thing on its own, sibling. Well, and I think too, there are thought for thought translations and there are word for word translations. with those thought for thought, it can start getting a little bit like, whoa,
Yep.
that's an
Yeah.
interesting way
You're,
to
you're,
take
you're
that.
beginning to get into reading the opinion of what
Yep.
somebody thinks the word says versus what it truly says, which then you get twisting of context a whole lot.
Gen Z Bible. In the beginning was the light, and that light was lit, yo.
No
I'm
clap.
like-
Oh my gosh. Okay, so we had a question. Would you be interested in supplying to a gun store who also wants to teach first aid and firearms training?
Yep.
We already do that.
We already
so-
do that. refugemedical.com. Contact us for them. Call the store. Shoot us an email. Use the chat function on the website. We're not breaking new ground here. We already do that, so just holler at us. I'll tell you this, just so that you're aware, we manufacture everything in America. We guarantee it forever, and I desperately am trying to pay our people a living wage, which is harder and harder to do, thanks federal government and Federal Reserve. That being said, a lot of firearms industry products have significant markup in them, and we do not. And so there is headroom. You can earn a profit on it, but if you're used to, I don't know, like I talked to this vice president of Palmetto on the phone. He's like, I can't do anything unless we got at least 60% headroom in the pricing. I was like, you're out of your damn mind, homie. He also was not happy that I called him anyway, because I was able to OSINT my way into his personal cell phone number with no context. So when I called him, I was like, yo, is this? He's like, yeah, who's this? I was like, what's up? It's Bear with Refuge. He goes, how did you get this number? I was like, don't worry about it. Do you want to do first aid kit stuff? And he's like, maybe. So in any event, I started off on the wrong foot, cold calling the guy. That being said, well, I don't have 60% headroom in the kits. If I had 60% headroom in the kits, we'd be on my yacht right now, okay? So just know that coming into the relationship. There's enough room to earn a little bit of profit, feed your family, pay your employees, because that's what I do. But it's not exorbitant, and that's done intentionally, because we have to walk this line between keeping the lights on here and making sure people get paid and having enough operational expenses covered with our cash reserves that we can operate during the lean times, and providing the best price point, highest value kit to the consumer as possible. And it's a straight and narrow path, bro.
Unless you're really inundated in how to run a business and how expensive it is to actually run a business, this is coming from someone who doesn't do numbers well, you just, like, people who are like, oh, your stuff's so expensive, you have no idea how much it costs to come up with a kit, just the whole thing, the whole big picture of how much it costs to do everything.
There's a tremendous amount of cost just in research and development, and then creating a prototype.
Well,
and
the
then,
softwares that we have to keep active all the time, like the subscriptions we have to have as creators and doing all the things.
Fix one sewing machine.
Yeah.
Just fix one sewing machine. You're like, what? We're busted for the month. Oops.
Or buying a laser machine.
I know.
You know, like,
I know. But see,
expensive.
here's the thing, right? Like, a little biz dev advice. There are always problems. Always. You have good problems and you have bad problems. The goal is to have good problems. Good problems are like, oh my gosh, we sold so much stuff. How are we going to get it all out the door? That's a good problem. A bad problem is we sold nothing and now we've got to cut hours and let people go, and we're only going to turn half the lights on at the store for the next 2 weeks because the power bill is too high. So there's always problems, right? Problems, air quote. You want the good problems. And so it's a constant game of problem solving and balancing not just two things, but like 52 things all at the same time. And I could be doing anything with my life at this point. I've had vast and myriad life experiences. I'm qualified in numerous different fields to earn and earn well in all different types of fields. Refuge is it's literally named after the Psalms. The Lord Yahweh is our refuge and our strength. Okay, this is a service. We are in this service industry, whether that's kits or components or instructing for the preservation of life. And so it's almost a passion project for me. Like, I don't collect a salary. I don't, I get some trainer pay when we're training, which is cool. That's a great update. Super appreciative of that. But it's not, these are worthy problems to have because there's 162 people still alive and 10 bucket babies, which is amazing.
Right.
Right? That's amazing. There's 10 brand new little newborns just because of the birthing bucket. And so quantifying the impact that Refuge has, if you think about like a lake with still water in it and you just chuck a giant rock into it and all those ripples that go out from there, that for me is much more rewarding than, oh, I put up another power line tower today or whatever, So.
All right, so this is another biblical question. Shalom all, thoughts on how to manage unyoked relationships, both personal and professional?
Professional, none of your purview. Stop. Not your job. Read John chapter 16. And the Spirit shall convict concerning sin, righteousness, and judgment.
Yep.
Simple as that.
Be a light.
Yeah.
Don't be a bad example.
Therefore, let your light shine forth before men.
What's the practical, tactical on that? All the Torah and prophets hang on 2 commands: how to appropriately love God and how to appropriately love people.
Yep.
So if you're not operating within the fruit of the Spirit, that proof of the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness,
Yep.
trustworthiness, and self-control. If you don't have those,
It kind of comes down to, you can have 2 people. You can have an atheist or, whatever you want to call them. They're living in the world.
yeah,
You can have a believer. But if that believer is not being so different that that atheist or unbeliever sees him and thinks there's something different and it's good about them, not they're just like everybody else, they're an asshole. Like, there's nothing light about them, there's nothing drawing me to them. What's the point?
So,
be good to people, man. Just be good.
and your faith should be so infallible that it should not require the participation of approval of others to validate you in your beliefs. We live in a world that crucified a perfect man. Stop seeking approval from everybody else. Doesn't work that way. And a constant reframe for me that may help you, because it's true, is I would be doing this by myself anyway.
Yeah.
Right? When we get together with our assembly and we fellowship and we worship and we read the word, I'd be doing this by myself anyway. How do I know? I did it by myself. When we play worship music, my other drum set is right there. I play worship music on it too.
Yep.
Right? Oh, well, we crack the Bibles open and we study the Word. I already do that. I was already doing that by myself. What a blessing that I have other people to do it with now. Oh, we're gonna feed somebody that doesn't have food. Yup, I was already doing that. Oh, this person's house got smashed by a tornado. Well, I was already doing all of this. And it's nice to have other people that are in alignment on these critical things with you so that you can do them together. It's a huge blessing. But my faith is not dependent upon the validation of everybody else around me approving of the way that I conduct myself. If I fail to conduct myself well, one of the blessings of having other good people around me is reproof and instruction. They can come to me and say, hey, let me talk to you. You messed that one up. See right here it says that we're not supposed to do that. And I love you and I don't want Dad to kick your ass, so I'm letting you know that Dad said don't do this. And that's what reproof and instruction and love looks like, right? You're right. I messed that up. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know. Okay? And then, so that's like workplace everywhere else. I'm doing the Trump hands. These hands, they go like this. Sometimes, I don't know why. And then in a relationship, well, that depends. Are you the husband or are you the wife? Go read the epistles of Paul. I believe it's in Ephesians. How do you know a wife, that your righteousness will not win a husband.
Quietly.
Yeah.
I would like to say that if you're a woman, it is quietly. It is not by you nagging and telling him how wrong he is. It is quietly. If you're a husband, love her like Christ loved the church.
And there's something to that. Because women innately love, they were created to do that. Men, on the other hand, we were created for like extreme violence and war and ruling and subduing, very aggressive things. So love is a second-hand characteristic for us. And yet the Father still requires us to do it. It's the first fruit of the Spirit. But husbands, love your wives as Christ even loved the church. And what did Christ do?
Gave himself.
He gave himself. He paid more than what the bride was even worth with his life, just to redeem his bride back to him. The same story in the book of Hosea. It's the exact same thing. He paid more than what his wife, who was a whore, was worth, just to redeem her back unto himself.
Yeah, huge parable there. Ephesians chapter 5.
Yeah.
Go read Ephesians chapter 5, because the whole parable there, the relationship between a husband and a wife, is exactly that. It's the relationship between Christ and his bride. And it's the concept of let your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. So this is adulterated by the pagans as above, so below, right? But it's the same concept. It matters the intent of the heart. We don't have, that's too much sewed to get into on a live stream with the medical company. What is sewed? It's mystical. But here's the point. It's a mirror, and it's a diagnostic tool, putting my pastor hat on. Oftentimes, when a couple will come to me that has relationship issues, and it's the husband complaining about his wife. My wife is doing this and this and this, and she's not listening about that, and blah, 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 blah. I have learned to just sit there and just listen and go, oh, so what you're saying is your wife isn't listening and she's being disobedient. He's like, yeah, exactly. I said, okay, so what are you not listening to from the Most High, and what are you being disobedient to? And he's like, what? I'm like, yeah, buddy, this whole thing's a mirror. This whole thing's a mirror. The gripes that you have in your relationship with your wife is the gripes that the Father has in his relationship with you. You fix that, then that'll fix this other thing. Your fault, homie. You go fix it. You're the man. That burden of responsibility rests on your shoulders. And suffice to say, I'm not always the most popular when people come to me for marital advice.
Well, a lot of times, I mean,
Been
I don't
there.
hear it as much. I don't hear it as much anymore.
too.
But when we have couples, it'll be like one will start wanting to give up Christmas or start wanting to give up things, and the other one is not on board, and the other person's so new, so they enter a tour of terrorism, and then they just become this bulldozer in the relationship, and it's like, listen,
Right.
you got to walk this and tread this in love and gentleness, and allow them the time to understand where you're coming from, and let the Father work on their heart, and not just expect that, like, you're wrong and I'm going to tell you why you're wrong, and then you're going to listen to me and you're going to like it. Like, you know?
Well, I mean, in that response, there is no fruit of the Spirit. What is the fruit of the Spirit? Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness. Handling that situation with the fruit of the Spirit is the only way you're going to be able to turn another individual, because then it's the work of the Spirit and not the work of man flesh.
Yeah. Yeah, and then how it's like, you know, and you're going to constantly be learning, so have grace for each other in that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've been slowly stockpiling some basic medical, like gauze and bandages, What's the next couple items I should add to my monthly list? While TJ gets his mic on.
Mark 19 grenade launcher, belt fed.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
Standard. Every house has one around here.
You don't have one?
Of course we do.
I got
we have
three.
three.
Of them.
Yeah.
Overlapping fields of fire. Yeah.
We have one in
Extra
each room,
lengths,
actually.
like, you
so
know.
What I did,
Just like med
one in
kits.
each room. That's a little much, but you didn't have to
Is it
flex.
though?
You didn't have to flex like that. Yeah. What I did was I took my house. I basically just made a triangle around it. I put gun emplacements around it, 120-degree arcs of fire. And I'd like to have like a Mark 19 and a 50 cal, then a 240 setup, right? So depending on what it is that I'm looking at, basic medical. Sorry, I went in a different bucket. By the way, have you seen that drum set over there? That thing is so sexy. I'm just saying.
you need to get the cage for it so that when people come in here for scenarios,
Yeah.
it doesn't get shut up.
Do you know? Well,
couple
first
of-
of all, that drum set has more miles on it than most people's vehicles. It is very scarred.
Oh.
It's very scarred.
Yeah, no one's allowed to touch it.
It's character.
No, listen.
It's not about damage. It's about so you got to think everything is meticulously placed.
Yeah, can I just randomly twist the tuning pegs on your guitar? Would you be okay with that?
No.
Okay.
You're like, don't touch.
It's
Just stop.
so it really is. We'll get to this basic medical question in a moment. It's the physiology of being able to perform, and the more physically demanding the musical piece is on the drums, the more the little details matter. Because if I change the height so the thing you sit on when you're playing drums is called a throne. If I change the height of the drum throne by 1/4 of an inch, that actually changes how my hip flexors interact with my ankles, I'm playing from the ankles when I'm playing 320 BPM 16th notes on the double bass, and that changing the height of the throne, not forward back, just the height, changes the particular muscle groups and more importantly the timing
Yeah.
on all that, and it all falls apart. And like that's moving it that much, 1/4 of an inch. And so the precision that is required to play at speeds like that requires precision in everything else. The spacing, the tuning, and tuning is not just the sound that it produces, but more importantly, the rebound that the head produces. Because if I hit the snare and I'm going to roll off the snare into the toms, I need enough rebound that when I move my hands, because you're playing with your fingers here, when I move my hands from here to here, that the stick has achieved enough height on the rebound that it's going to miss the rim coming up onto the toms.
Right.
All those been doing this 27 years. All those little tiny details matter. So that's why the stepbrothers, did you touch my drum set? That's why. Because
It only makes sense if you're a drummer.
Because
Why are
getting
you
to
so
that
sweaty?
point, I
Don't
mean,
wash your cups.
the drums that are in the church, we've had them for what, 6 months maybe?
Yeah. About.
They're not even kind of set up the way I want them. And I tweak them a little bit every time I'm there, and they're not even close.
Yep.
That thing is like putting on an old pair of running shoes, like perfectly broken in.
Right.
Right?
Right.
You just know you can go. All right, basic med stuff. OTC meds, which are available basically everywhere and are relatively cheap. I mean, you can get a big bottle of ibuprofen for $4, right? So ibuprofen, acetaminophen. This time of year, I would look at expectorants for getting the green stuff out,
Yep.
and then also cough suppressants. And that you can run the gamut here from, I'm really into mullein, and I like to walk through the woods.
I was
And
about to say, go natural.
you can go from homeopathic to Amazon Prime, okay, whatever you're into here. But I would look at that for pain reduction, aka analgesia, fear reduction, expectorants, cough suppressants, all of that right there. And that you can piecemeal that stuff. The 4 food groups of wound care that most people are like, just goes right over the top of their head until you have to do it.
Right.
Gauze, tape, gloves, and disinfectant. And if I get a roll of gauze, a roll of tape this week, and from Dollar Tree, Dollar General, or I buy one roll of 2-inch fabric tape from Refuge this week, whatever it is, okay? Get a roll of gauze, or a roll of tape rather. Get a box of gauze. And so in our gauze pads, 2x2s, 3x3s, 4x4s, that's all the small stuff, because your dressing should always be bigger than the wound. If that's my wound right there, my dressing, I need a 4x4 to cover that, not a 2x2.
Right.
So the edges of the dressing should always extend beyond the wound. So gauze tape, gloves, because every time I'm touching something nasty, I want to put gloves on, because our 5 vectors for disease transmission are flies, fingers, feces, food, and fluids, okay? And then disinfectants. So this can be like topical disinfectant, which there's povidone iodine. You can get your triple antibiotic ointment, tubes. We've got a tubes thing coming up. Stay tuned. And then brain. Whether you are into or not into hydrogen peroxide, stuff works, but it damages the cells. My view here is it debrides the stuff that's already dying.
Yeah.
That's where I love hydrogen peroxide, but
I do too.
I'm of that age.
I
The
just-
bubbles mean it's working. So
Oh, I literally tell my kids, I'm like, the bubbles, that's them going in there. They're killing all the bad guys, the germs.
You know
we
what?
use it for ear infections all the time, and it works.
Oh,
That scrubbing bubbles. You know what I mean? What is that? Is that laundry detergent?
No,
Or
it's
what is
like
that?
a shower cleaner.
That's
Is
bathroom
it?
Yeah,
cleaner,
it's a shower cleaning.
Show-
I used it the other
shows
day.
you
It's
how
so
often
bad
I
for you.
clean the shower. I just get in there and turn the hot water on and stand there till my back doesn't hurt anymore.
yeah.
Then just rub a bar of soap on me and I'm back
Oh
out.
God,
again.
bar soap is so gross.
Are you kidding me? What are you going to do when the world ends?
I know.
It's like, Lauren, what's in your rucksack? And she's like, well, I have my conditioner and I have, this is my body spray
No,
and this is my,
Castile, Kirkland's Castile.
That's why it's so heavy.
my lotion.
The
It's
bar.
like, do you have 86 pounds of product in there?
Like,
Yes.
this
but
bag
I've-
is only soap. My clothes bag is over there.
Hey, those goat soap people make banging, rotating acres. They make
Mm-hmm.
banging bars of soap, though. So I'm just saying, there's levels to the game when it comes to bar of soap.
If I have a bar of soap, there has to be like a special place up high in the shower with a drain underneath it, and then like no one else. That's my bar of soap. Don't you effing touch my
You
bar
don't
of
want
soap.
some body hair on your bar of
No.
soap? That's how you know it works.
I got exactly what I wanted. I when I was younger said I wanted to marry a swimmer with green eyes because they had no hair on their body. I married a man with no hair on his body and green eyes. So I got what I wanted. I don't have to worry about that. Oh,
You're welcome.
okay. Anyways, what is your opinion on the book of Josephus and him writing about seeing chariots of fire during the destruction in 70 AD?
Yeah, sure. Yep. That's my opinion.
I've never read that one.
I mean, what's the significance?
Okay. Question. When you use your Yaesu VHF UHF mobile radio, do you ever have the screen flicker on when your ABS or traction control turns on?
Nope.
Okay, this is a comment from Beesky. Deer season in PA, someone was shot on a deer drive in the
I
hip.
read that.
He died. No one had a kit. He still had a pulse when they got him in the ambulance, but died in transit. Carry a kit, know how to use it.
Yeah.
Okay, so there have been so many hunting deaths this year, like freak accidents, like 2 or 3 different locations, like country locations, like Florida. I don't remember what the other 2 were. Struck by lightning, and it killed them and their dogs, and it was like more than one person there. Like that's nuts. I don't think
That
we have a
sucks.
lightning kit.
Hey,
Potato and a Speedo.
keep it in your pants, all right?
No, what's so funny is my stepdad, very cultured, used to live in Germany for his job. He gave Heath a bag of swimsuits, and he thought it
One
was
of them's a Speedo.
one of them was a Speedo, and I was like, he's like, I'm not going to keep any of those,
Like,
but
oh,
maybe the
Bob.
Speedo.
I've got plans for that Speedo. Oh, gross. Now we know why the soap has to be up here. All right. Help me remember that I need to message Eric about grenades.
Eric about grenades. Got it.
That's not hyperbole.
Ooh, Kevin said, morning, I dig the new rec
I'm into
room
that.
idea.
Oh, Rec Room is the bomb, yo. Rec Room is high value, low dollar continuing Refuge Medical education. And Lauren has links and stuff for that. And myself, Heath, and Mike have all been teaching in the rec room. Heath did me a major solid and took a whole bunch of the portions recently because there's about a kilo of green stuff in between the top of my head and the bottom of my nose right now. So,
Gross.
you want some?
No.
You sure?
I mean, well, no.
I'll cream up that coffee for you?
Oh God,
Empty.
oh gosh, that's so gross. What makes the rec room
Excuse me
different,
while I
guys?
go vomit.
I know we've done so much content on YouTube, but what we wanted to do differently in this is YouTube was like, let's try to make this really bite-sized, you know, under 5 minutes or under 10 minutes little teaching so that they can learn this little thing. We didn't do that with the rec room. We went in depth. So like if we're talking about med plan, Heath and TJ's med plan is like 50 minutes long because they actually go through each step.
Yep.
It's not like, let me just tell you the bullet points really fast as I can.
It's also the exact same block of instruction that we taught at Train the Trainer.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right? It's that exact same block right there. And the other thing, too, is with the socials and with YouTube and all of that, number one, the intent is different. So, like, you have to want to watch it, and there's this game that gets played on socials. We talked about this at the beginning of the show. It's like, well, if we can get the thumbnail right and the title right, maybe you'll click it. And it tends to be passively consumed. You're driving down the road or you're chasing the kids around the house or whatever. You're doing your thing with one earbud in, kind of listening, kind of not listening. That's different than the rec room. The rec room is instruction, okay? Yep. It's teaching. And so it's very focused. Yes, there is a cover charge. It's not exorbitant. It's very reasonable. Just like there's a cover charge, I always use this analogy because I used to be in bands. There's a cost to see the band play on Friday night. And you know that because you're getting value. You pay a couple of bucks at the door, now you're in the bar and the band's playing. And it keeps the riffraff out.
Yep.
And it allows the band to play better. You get a better quality band when there's a cover charge than you do when it's open door, if that makes sense. So.
Abe Tweakin said, I'm sorry if I missed it, but where do we watch or get in on this rec room? So if you are signed up for the Refuge newsletters, that is where we are currently dropping the link. We did have a deal going on for Black Friday where if you had an order over X amount, you got your 2 weeks free. Please sign up for the newsletter because the deal that we have going on with the rec room right now where you get to try it for free is ending on Friday. So if you want to get it and you want to have your 2 weeks free, do it now. Otherwise, you can just sign up, for it's not a lot, but it is in the newsletter. That's where the link is going to be. And then I forgot that Iron Wolf the biker asked, or someone else asked, and then he reiterated, would it be advantageous for an ER doctor to take Train the Trainer?
Uh-huh.
Absolutely.
It wouldn't be the first ER doc to take Train the Trainer.
Because in short, pre-hospital medicine is nowhere near the same as hospital medicine.
Yeah, let's just,
So
you nailed it. Let's just start with pre-hospital. The years ago, the first time we had an ER doc in one of our classes, it wasn't Train the Trainer, it was Responder 3. And him and his wife, who was an ER trauma nurse, and during lunch, I pulled him aside. I said, hey, can I ask you a question? They're like, yeah, what's up? I said, hey, real quick, what the hell are you guys doing here? And he goes, oh man, we've learned so much already. It was noon on day one. We'd just done the morning lecture and practical application part. He's like, all this stuff, and this stuck with me. He goes, all this stuff happens out there. And nobody has ever taught us this. He goes, we have one tourniquet, in a crash cart, in a wrapper, somewhere in the ER. We don't even know where it is. And he's like, this is a wealth of information. Thank you. We had a medical physician in the last Train the Trainer class.
Yeah.
We had one in the class before that because it's pre-hospital trauma medicine, not hospital trauma medicine. And so everything's different. In pre-hospital trauma medicine, sterility is for me, not for the patient.
Yep.
I have a very limited window of time. I've got max 4 minutes to solve my largest problems. I also have security to deal with. Security is much less of a factor in a hospital environment. It's a factor, but we assume we have security. We assume we have scene safety because we're in a sterile, controlled environment. We've got all the beep boopy machines. We've got oxygen on the wall. We've got crash carts. There's AEDs everywhere. We're surrounded by resources and knowledge. Pre-hospital, you fight with what you brought.
Do it, Kevin.
And it's a completely different mindset. And it's a completely different block of instruction than what these doctors are getting as they're getting their doctorates in medicine. So I had the same question years ago when we, the first doctor we had, like, why are you here? You know more than I do. And he was like, oh, no, buddy. No, not about this stuff. I don't know. You know way more about this stuff than I do. And what was cool was, because there's this thing called imposter syndrome, and it's very real.
Yeah.
It's very real, and everybody has to overcome it at some point. And it's like, who am I to teach a doctor? This guy's he's a doctor. I'm not a doctor. He outranks me. And it's like, yeah, in the hospital, he outranks me.
Right.
Outside of the hospital, I actually outrank him because he doesn't know outside of the hospital stuff, and I do. Yeah. I'm not great at inside the hospital stuff. I don't like hospital. I'm a terrible patient. I know this about me. Terrible patient. But now when I'm in hospitals, I'm always looking, always asking questions. Yo, what is that thing? What does that do? Why did you do that way? But, blah, blah, blah. Trying to absorb as much as I can from a medical standpoint. The only difference is if I'm the patient, strap me to the gurney. I've been strapped to a gurney on several occasions. In fact, one time, I was strapped to a gurney. It's a long story, but suffice to say, I made it into the ER. I'm strapped to a gurney, and I've really got to pee. Like, really got to pee. And the nurse on duty was kind of a jerk. And I'm telling her, I'm like, ma'am, I have got to use the restroom. And so I've been telling her this for like 20 minutes. I could see the clock on the wall. And I'm about to burst. And I'm not going to pee myself. I'm just not going to do it. So she walks in, and she's got one of those little pee bottles, leaves it on my chest, looks at me, and walks away. I was like, you dirty hoe. So I'm strapped to the gurney, right? And I'm like, all right. So I just manage, always search your patient. Reach into my pocket, get my pocket knife out, cut the first strap, second strap, third strap, fourth strap. And in the middle of the ER, filled that bottle. I walked over and I set it back on the nurse's station and said, here you go, thanks. Went back into the room, picked the gurney up, or the backboard, picked the backboard up, chucked it into the hallway, and then just sat down on the bed. And they were like, the doctor will see you now. Thank you, appreciate that. I'm a problem. This was way before Christ as well. So, in any
That's a
event.
great story.
Yeah, you didn't know that?
No.
Yeah.
Oh
But
my
first
God.
of all, the nurse, like, what a...
I know. Help me out here, lady. And it was full. It was dripping down one side.
God, stop.
Here's 2 units.
Here you go.
Oh my God.
You might want to run some tests on that. It's going to be a minute before you get some more out of me.
Let's change the subject now. Thank
Oh
you
my
for
God.
taking HSA cards, Refuge. We cleared out an old one last week with the best medical preps available. And much
Love that.
gratitude.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's about that time of year for HSA and FSA.
Yep.
You have to check with your provider. Some of them end of December, and some of them end, I believe it's the end of March or middle of March. So check with your provider, but if you've got an HSA and an FSA, which is a health savings account or a flexible spending account, many of those organizations, if you don't use it, you lose it. It doesn't roll over. Yep. Some of them do, which is super cool, but many of them don't. If you don't use it, you lose it. So if you have an HSA or an FSA, check. When does it expire? Is it December 31st / 1 Jan? Or is it, I think it's March 15th. And does it roll over or does it not? And so that's money that's coming out of your paycheck. that generally speaking, your employer is also matching a portion of that, you should use it. And if you want to use it with us, we do take HSA and FSA. Typically, the best way to do that is call the store, talk to either Lauren or Mike or my wife on the phone, and maybe Heath, maybe me, depending on what the day looks like. Listen, if you call the store and you need to process an order, I'm going to run around the store finding somebody who knows more than I do, because that's not my bailiwick. But we can help you with that. So.
Hey guys, what are your thoughts on Agilite's med kit they came up with?
I know nothing about it.
Same.
Zero.
Agilite med kit.
I know Agilite makes a lot of really good stuff. Predominantly tactical gear and such. However, I have zero context or understanding of their medical kit.
Oh, it looks like it wants to be an OpFac.
It looks exactly like an OpFac.
Wow, what an original idea. Oh, and their pop-up literally has a guy jumping out of a plane.
Oh, wonder where they saw that.
Where have I seen that before? Yup, it looks like it wants to be an OpFac. So I could tell you one of the things that I don't like just from looking at the pictures on the website is this is very common with gear manufacturers now. It's a single piece of nylon that's laser cut and then rolled and sewed.
Yep.
And so they cut it out, and then they've taken it and then rolled it over like this to be a pouch, and none of the edges are finished. So we edge band all of our edges. The reason, and we have multiple plies sewn together. The reason for that is these edges can and will fray.
Mm-hmm.
All right, it's part of why. So we guarantee our stuff forever. I have had 3 warranty claims this year. 3. We have blown past 50,000 orders in 2025. I've had 3 warranty claims. By the way, the process for that looks like you call the store, shoot us an email, and go, hey, my stuff broke. And we're like, awesome. Sorry to hear that. Send us a pic. We'll get you a replacement on the next one out. The next thing's smoking, headed to you. Also, if you could take the Refuge box that we send to you, there'll be an RMA label in there. Send us back the busted one, because I want the busted one so I can see how it broke so that we don't make that mistake again.
Yep.
That helps us make even better products. And so because we guarantee stuff forever, and because all of our kits start as an end user specification, where a unit, typically a unit, will come to us and say, this is what we need for capability. Can you make that? Yep, absolutely. Cool. We do T&E with them, which costs, the pre-production costs to roll out a new kit are somewhere between $20,000 and $50,000 US per kit. Because there's iteration, and you don't make one, you make a couple dozen of them, and none of it is streamlined in this process yet. So there's no economy of scale, there's none of that. And then you beat them up, and okay, so here's the improvements we need to make on the next iteration. So you make 2 dozen more and beat them up and blah, blah, blah. And what we have found, even using a high density material like 1500D Cordura, these edges will fray. And then once they fray, then it starts to run. Once it starts to run, then it rips. And so for light use, for just being perfectly honest, if you're barely ever gonna use it and or we're just LARPing, yeah, that stuff's fine. If you bet your life on it, it's not gonna cut it.
No.
That's why we don't do that. And I, being perfectly honest, have been tempted so many times to figure out the right way to do that because it's so fast. You put the fabric in the machine goes, you pull it out, you roll it over, stitch, 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 boom, done, out the door. But it won't last. Mm-hmm. And we know that because I've done that too. We've tried that too. And I've not figured out a way to make a product that I can guarantee forever, that you can hand to your grandchildren,
Yeah.
and manufacture it that way. Now, maybe Agilite has figured that out. I don't know. I've never had my hands on that particular product, but based upon what I can see on the website, that method of manufacture, it's just a single piece of Cordura that's just rolled and sewed. That method of manufacture, you see right there where that comes together?
Yep.
That'll rip right there in the corner. I don't know if they can see it, but right there in the corner where that comes together,
Hold on,
there's a
let me see if I
little
can zoom.
there's a little relief cut right there.
No.
That'll rip. Under stress, that will rip.
Does it look just like the Warrior Poets one? I mean, because he has one that's similar to that.
That's all
like-
third-party
His-
manufacturing.
okay.
His folds, and it's also Chinese.
So that's and that, by the way, is called white
It's
label.
not. I think it's
White
not.
label manufacturing. White labeling means they go to some other producer of kit, and they say, "Hi, I'm Bear from the internet, and I want a Bear brand of product." And they go, "No problem." And they take their label off, put the Bear label on, and now I market it, they fulfill it, they manufacture and fulfill it. That's called white labeling. Very common in the industry. So, yeah.
The Bat Mom said that her Bear Fact stays in the back of her Forerunner. It gets thrown all around my work supplies, kids' crap tools, and it still looks brand new. And it's still looking brand new.
I have a Bearfac Gen 2 that's on the side of my personal stomp bag, as in I need an immediate trauma capability right now. It's on the side of my stomp bag that I purposefully left outside in Oklahoma for a year. Rain, sleet, snow, hail, tornadoes, sun, humidity, all of it, for a year. The only thing that's even wrong with it is it's a black kit. It's slightly lighter in color than it was when I left it out, when I first put it out
Sun
there.
bleached.
But all the internal contents, they're fine. And that's done intentionally. Like there's a unit that ordered 800 kits from an air quote competitor, even though their guy was telling them, their point of contact for this was like, please don't go with the competitor, just get Refuge stuff. Well, their boss man, their CO was like, nope, we're gonna go with this other company because they're $10 per kit cheaper. But times 800, it adds up. That's $8,000.
Yep.
Okay. I would have worked with them for $10, okay? But whatever. 8 months later, after being deployed, 8 months later, their kits are literally falling off of them. They're coming apart. And so now they're getting 800 Refuge kits to replace the 800 competitor kits that they purchased that were $10 a piece cheaper. So you don't save any money if you have to buy it more than one time.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know Agilite. I've never had my hands on that product. Just from what I can see on the website, that method of manufacture, the cut, roll, sew method with unfinished edges, those unfinished edges fray, the frays run, then the runs rip, and then your stuff's coming apart.
Yep.
So, the people that we work with, that it absolutely has to work, that they don't accept that. And if they do, they end up coming back to us going, yeah, we made a mistake. Can we get some of your stuff, please? And that's kind of our whole MO, man. If Special Forces can jump an OPFAC out of an airplane, it's gonna work great for you.
Yeah.
If Naval Special Warfare is impressed by our stomp bag because it exceeds their specifications, it's gonna work for you. That's the whole modus operandi here, is let's take people who every day bet their life on this capability and make it to where it exceeds their expectations, and then it's definitely going to exceed your expectations. And I'm not a cool guy either, and so if the Bearfac works for all these other cool guys, it totally works for me too.
The biggest point is every single kit, every single component, everything that we have is quite legitimately tried and true. So we need to be able to put a kit in your hands and say, here you go, this can save your life. That way, the only variable is your knowledge. But hey, if you don't have the knowledge, come get training, right? So all of that to say, everything that we have is tried and true. It's ready to go, squared away. You just need to know how to use it.
Yep.
Word.
Word. What else we got?
I think that's it. Question one. Well, there might be something hidden in here.
Sam's Liberty. I've had my kits for over a year now. Still
Awesome.
looks like new. Yep.
Thanks, Texas Jeeper.
Trying and doing. I also love that you all
Love this
pray
pen.
over your product. Yeah, we do. We don't talk about that a whole lot because I don't want it to be like a shtick. Like, you should buy from us because we pray over our products before they go out. Like, that's it seems like the wrong application of the grace of the Most High, if that makes sense. But we do. We gather daily before the big brown trucks show up, and we, some of us take a knee, some of us lay hands on the packages before they go. I know it sounds cheesy, but the prayer daily is, amongst many other things that we petition the Father for, is to get these packages where they need to go, right place, right time, for the right reasons, for the preservation of life, both physical and eternal. And that's real. We do that daily.
Yeah.
And we mean it. So
What headlamp do you recommend?
Do I recommend?
Either of you.
Oh,
I'm curious to see what his recommendation is.
so there's a lot of really good headlamps out there. My preferred headlamp, regardless of what you go with, I prefer that it is a red first headlamp. To where the only way that it can go to a white light is if it's absolutely intentional, to where you have to hold the button down or flip a specific switch or whatever the case. All things considered, I don't care what headlamp you use. I really don't care what headlamp I use, as long as it is a red first and it will not go white light without it being intentional.
So to that point, I snob out over a lot of things.
Yeah.
Headlamps. I've been using this exact same headlamp for 7 years. It's $20. It's the Energizer brand headlamp. It runs on 3 AAAs. It has one button up top, the power button. When you hit it, the first thing that comes up is a single red LED.
Yep.
And then if I want white light, I gotta hit it again, and then it goes to dim white light, then medium white light, then bright white light, then really bright white light. And if I hit it once, it goes to red light. That's right. If I hit it again, it turns it off. I have to hold it down in order to get it into white light.
It's intentional.
Yep.
Yep.
And
That's the whole point.
They're $20.
Yep.
They're in all of my kits. There's one in my pickup truck right now. They're in all of my kids' bug out bags, my wife's bug out bag. There's one by the front door in my house because I've just been acquiring these things over the last 7 years because they just work. Then you get a little zip top baggie and you put 3 spare AAAs in it, and you put that in your chest rig or you put it in your bag, and then you got backup batteries. And I rarely change the battery in there. Like, the only time I'll change the battery is like if I know we're going to go do a thing where I'm going to be in the field for 3 to 5 days in a stretch, wilderness, I'll put fresh batteries in it before we start. But I can't recall being in the middle of using the thing and be like, oh crap, I got to change the batteries. So it does a really good job on that as well.
Okay, last question, then we gotta go do all the things.
Be professional.
Night vision goggles. Any thoughts?
Lots of thoughts.
Get some.
What do you want to know? Yes.
Comma?
Asterisk. Yes, comma. Night vision is an investment, okay? And so here's what people don't understand. You're not just getting nods. You're getting nods, and then you're probably going to get a helmet to hang them on, And while bump helmets are cool because they're vented and they're lightweight, they don't stop anything. So I prefer a ballistic helmet, which means you're going to double, triple the cost of a bump helmet. And now that you have the helmet, you're going to want a battery pack to hang on there. And oh, I can hang my ear pro on here. And I'm going to want the ear pro that interacts with my radio. So I'm going to need the push to talk that goes with that. And then I need the adapter that goes to my radio. And I want one of those cool blinky light IR designators that goes on top of my helmet. So now I need that too. And my radio pouch now doesn't fit with it. Okay, so now I need a different radio pouch. And now that I have the nods, whether it's a single tube PVS 14 or a pair of dual tubes or whatever it might be,
Dual tubes.
now I need an IR illuminator that I can hang on my rifle. So that's going to be $200 to $500 right there. Now, okay, so now I can illuminate. Well, I'm going to get a PEC 15 or a MAL or even a Somo gear, whatever it might be. But the built-in illuminator on that isn't that good, so I definitely need a standalone Surefire that's going to go on there that I can access with a tape switch. And in order to get the tape switch to work with that, I got to get the thing that goes on the back of the flashlight. That's another $150, and the tape.
180.
Oh, it's 180 now.
Yeah. And
then I got to get the tape switch. That's $115, and then all that's got to go on there, and then I need the laser designator. And if I get one that the 75th Ranger Regiment accidentally had fall off the back of a truck, that's only going to be $1,600 for a full power PEC 15 gray zone market. But maybe I'll get a MAL. That's $2,500. What about B.E. Myers? Okay, well now I'm in a $4,000 range. Okay, I'll get a Somo gear. That's only $500. I get the Somo gear. I like the Somo gear. It works pretty good. It's got a full power laser on it, but it turns out that the plastic that they make the cases on the Somo gear on doesn't hold up for thousands of rounds, so it's going to crack and fall off the gun. Now I got to get another PEC 15 anyway. And so before you, whatever the nods cost,
Buy ones, crown ones.
at least double it. At least double it, minimum. So I have a pair of Nightfall Optics LLUL 21 Gen 3 white phosphor 2300 FOM. They're incredible, and they cost $11,000, and I saved my pennies. Now, I'll be completely honest with you, because of the work that Caleb House does, or Counter Trafficking Ministry, they gave them to me at cost. They didn't give them to me. They made them available to me at cost, and it was still a metric shit ton of money.
Yep.
I'm not going to tell you what their cost is. That's industry business. But it wasn't like they charge $11,000 for it and I only paid $1,000. No, not that at all. So I got a little bit of a discount there. But I have, at best count currently, $18,000 into being able to fight at night. Okay? 18 grand.
See, that's all. That's all.
It's all that it is, Lauren. It's just 18 grand. It's just a decent used car or a great starter savings account for college.
I've already got the helmet.
He's already got the helmet. He's halfway there. Whoa, we're halfway there.
And the radio.
You know what, why don't you crowdfund you some nods?
Crowdfunding nods for me. Let's go.
Yep, let's go. Go to
I
Give,
have
Send,
eyebrows.
Go.
You have eyebrows. Like I need to see in the dark. You need to see in the dark. You, me, same. Help me out, guys.
Give, Send, Go / Heath Gets Nods.
Oh my gosh.
So they're very useful tools.
Yeah.
And then here's the other thing, right? If you need to understand what near-peer threats look like where you're at. And I'll give you an example. We were over in Fort Chaffee doing OPFOR stuff with Naval Special Warfare. And myself and another brother were in an OP position, observation post, about 500 meters away from where the platoon of SEALs was going to go in, blow a hole through this wall, enter this mount town, and in their minds, kill everybody.
Yep.
And that's not what happened, because their 4-man reconnaissance element, which included 2 snipers, poor guys were carrying 300 Win Mags on their back and M4s in the front. I thought that was the phone. I was like, is that the phone? It is. They come patrolling up. We see them coming patrolling up, and I had booby-trapped the position that we were in, so big explosion, everybody dies. Pissed off Tradette, the training detachment guy, I was like, yeah, but did we learn? Yes, we learned. Don't force the door. That's why we're all dead. They're like, you wouldn't blow yourself up. I was like, of course I would. I'm a Muslim extremist, and I just jihaded myself. And they were like, oh, shit. Yeah, buddy, oh, shit. So here we are with these, and so the TRADAC guy's like, hey, yep, you got us, but can we not cancel the rest of the training event? Because I really need to get these guys into this OP position, because the rest of the platoon, they just jumped out of an aircraft and patrolled 4.5 miles in here, and I'd love to not call it because you blew up our recce element. I was like, yeah, that's fair, but I got you guys. And they're like, yeah, you got us. Okay, cool. You, me, same. You have eyebrows? I have eyebrows. Awesome. So here we are. It's in the dark. There's these two guys, SEAL snipers. They're laid behind their giant guns, and they've got their big thermals on, clip-ons on the front of their guns and the whole nine. And I'm watching. Me and my other guy, we're now dead because we've got blowed up. Cool. So we're just standing there, we're watching, and I can see, here come the SEALs patrolling in, 500 meters away. By the way that I knew the recce element was coming was that they had their laser designators on their rifles on, and I was watching 4 lasers bounce through the woods as they were coming. Okay? So now we're watching this platoon of SEALs, about 40 guys down on the ground, 500 meters away. And I'm talking to my guys down there saying, hey, they're setting up for an L-shaped ambush. They're on the north and the west. I want you guys to swing around from the east to the north, L-shape them there. Also, PJ, you got a copy? He's like, yeah, go for PJ. Hey, I want you to come in on that side-by-side with that belt fed you have. You come in from the south, head west, tear them up. You're going to be the pincer movement. He's like, yeah, roger that. And I was like, and go. And so we, ragtag bunch of civilians from eastern Oklahoma, are killing the shit out of naval special warfare. And these 2 snipers are laid down behind their rifles going, what is happening? What is going on? And they're trying to relay down to their guys. As they're talking to their guys, I'm talking to our guys. So like, hey, they're going to flex from the north. They're going to head west and then try and move south. So if you could put a blocking element out the south, that'd be great. And so one of the SEAL snipers, they break out of, so they're in auditory exclusion.
All the way.
They're tunnel vision behind this rifle. And finally, one of the snipers turns around and looks at me and goes, who are you talking to? I said, I'm talking to my guys. Who are you talking to? He goes, I'm talking to my guys. He goes, can you see us? And I'm looking at him, and I just go like this and point to my nods. And he goes, shit, they can see us, because they still had their blinky lights on the top of their helmets. They had their freaking PEC 15 laser designators flying around all over I could see every one of them moving, and I'm just in an elevated position 500 meters away just calling the shots for my guys on the ground. And these are Navy SEALs, okay?
Yep.
Now, they were baby SEAls, but they're Navy SEAls. They made it through BUDS. They're in their first land warfare phase. So just because you have knots doesn't mean if you are fighting or even just training with anybody else that has knots, there's a large amount of discipline that is required. Because if you're emanating anything, whether it's the IR designator on the top of your helmet still blinking, or you have your laser on when it doesn't need to be on, it's just like white light. You flip it on, shoot, off, then move. Because the other end of that laser is attached to your position.
100%.
Just like white light. And so there's a training curve with nods too. So understand, you're going to spend more than just, even if you get a green phosphor Gen 2 PVS 14 for $2,500 and hang it off of a helmet. Okay, you're maybe, just with the mount and the helmet, you're $3,500 there. Great. Now am I actively aiming or passively aiming? Well, passive is preferred. And it starts stacking up. Well, now the optic that I have, I can't passively aim with. So now I need a different optic. Well, I need an EOTech EXPS3 or blah. Well, there goes $800. Great optic. There goes $800.
With a Unity riser?
Yeah, I'm saying.
You can all the way.
Oh, Unity riser? There goes $1,100.
Nods.
So it's.
Sorry.
They're great tools. You're gonna spend a lot of money on them. Just know that now. You're going to spend a lot of money on them. And just like any other tool, possessing them does not mean that you're going to be proficient with them. And if you don't go out and train with them, it's not going to work, because you'll be running around with your IR illuminator stuck in the on position without realizing it, going, wow, the nods are working great tonight. And everybody else can see you, because it's the same as shining a white light in the dark. As long if the bad guys, whoever that is, also have nods, we can see you, homie. So,
Or using your IR helmet designator.
blinky light.
Yep.
So let's put a bow on this.
I was playing with my nods in my house the other day, just because I got a new battery. This is the other thing. You will play with these things. Got a new battery pack to mount on the back of my helmet, right? And I'm making sure it works. And so I'm sitting in my office, pitch dark, right? Adjusting the lenses. That's another thing. Your focal plane is where you adjust it to. You might be able to see your target, but now you can't see your hands. Okay? So anyway, and narrow field of view. So I'm sitting in the office, and something's blinking. I'm like, what is blinking? What is blinking? And there's a light over here in the corner that's blinking. And so like nods up. Okay, it's not visible light, it's IR light. What is blinking? Nods back down, something's blinking. And I'm for like 5 minutes. It was me. It was that stupid IR designator on the top of my helmet. Finally, I was like, switch it to the off position, right?
Yes.
And so that's a whole nother thing. Like, strip of duct tape, brown, over top of IR designator. If you don't need it for this mission, cover that shit up. Because even on its lowest setting, I'm like, something in here, it was driving me nuts. Something is blinking.
Yep.
So it's a whole thing. Roran?
Okay. 20 minutes later,
Such a
after
good
Nod's
story.
talk. Last thing, and then we're going to jump off, guys.
Hey, there's nothing more important than a good set of nods, other than medical. Medical's like really important.
And your family.
In
I mean,
nods.
you got to protect your family with nods.
Oh my God.
I mean, 50% of the day is night.
Yeah.
We can't pay the electric bill now, but can you see still?
I can see him trying to disconnect the meter. Hey, buddy, you're trespassing.
Okay, so
Thank
this
God
is
we
kind
have
of
these.
a cool way that our kit has somewhat saved a life, kind of, without being deployed. I carry my SOB in my cargo pocket. It literally saved me from my chainsaw accident. The chainsaw
Wow.
hit that and not my leg.
Wow, that's super cool.
Praise, yeah. That's awesome.
All right, guys, we got to go do all the things. Make sure you're signed up for the newsletter, and that's where you're going to find the link to the rec room right now. If you want to grab it on that 2-week free trial, it is ending. The trial is ending on Friday, and then it's just going to go on to be like, you can still sign up, but it just won't have a trial. Yeah.
I got a couple of things.
Okay.
Real quick. Number one, first of all, thank you to everybody who bought M81 Woodland. Unlike the last time we made it available, and literally 4 people bought Woodland, and then I was stuck with it for a year.
Right.
It sold out this Black Friday, Cyber Monday, so I'm very thankful to y'all for that.
Awesome.
Thank you that I don't have to sit on that inventory for another year.
Good job.
Appreciate that. And then the other thing is, very simply, if there's anything we can ever do for y'all, call the store, shoot us an email, or use the chat function on the website that is not run by AI. It has real people in the chat function. So if we can serve you in any way, whether you need a piece of gauze or a field hospital or training for your unit, department, church, whatever, however we can assist you, we're happy to do so. We have a public Defender 1 class, February the 8th, here in Oklahoma. And then we have Radio Made Easy, 0 to Hero, and Tactical Radio Operator, followed by an Essential Responder 6-day block of instruction. I believe that's in March. And then in April, we have Wilderness training as well. And Wilderness, that class moves. And so if you want to use whatever funds you have available now to get in on that class early, I would recommend that. That class sold out the last time we did it, and it sold out pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So I would recommend do the things. If you want to come to class, the world is not getting any more encouraging, and it's our job to make sure that it remains encouraging. that it remains a safe place for the sons and daughters of the Most High and for their children. So we have a duty and a responsibility for the preservation of life appointed to us by the Creator of the universe. And so however it is that you act in that today and every day, do that. Go be a force for good, because there's plenty of forces for evil.
M1 grandson, if you need to talk about that, you can email Heath at refugemedical.com and he can
Yeah, man, I'll talk to you about it.
in that. We are going to jump off, and thank you guys so much for watching today, and sign up for the newsletter. We do have exciting stuff coming up, and stay safe.
Yep.
It's winter driving.
Share the show. See y'all when we see you.
Bye, y'all.
Get nods.
No.